Denied again? Man, if I had $1 for every time a veteran told me that, I could probably fund my own VA. Listen, getting that denial letter sucks, but appealing the wrong way can make it so much worse. That's why today we're breaking down the top 5 mistakes that veterans make when appealing a denied claim, and know how you can avoid them so you can actually win the next round. Mistake number 4 is something that most veterans just don't fully know or understand, and it's hurting your appeals process. And if you make mistake number 3, then your claim is sunk moments after you submit it. Stick around with me till the end because I'm doing a new segment, Claim Advice. As always, though, do me a favor. Help me help you. I realize you can just skip to the end, find out what the 5 mistakes are, and move on with your day. But the real meat of helping me help you is what is being said, not what is written. So give me 15 minutes or less, and I'll give you enough information to put you closer to or in that 100 club. I'm Mr. X. I'm the guy behind the guy, giving you all the information you want to know and need to know about the VA claims process. And this is the VA Top 5. All right, mistake number 5, waiting too long to appeal. When you get that decision letter, you've got 1 year to act. But I see it all the time. Veterans get discouraged, toss that letter in a drawer, and 6 months later, they're like, I'll deal with it later. That's a gigantic mistake. The VA clock doesn't care about your feelings, brother. Once that 1 year window closes, it's gone. You're starting over from scratch. So here's a pro tip. File your intent to appeal early. Even if you don't have all your evidence ready yet, it protects your effective date and keeps that back pay in play. Okay? Intent to appeal, intent to file a claim, file that ITF. Okay? Because that's what protects your effective date. That's the most important reason that waiting too long affects too many things. The thing to remember, you don't want to lose your effective date. Waiting too long means you're going to lose your effective date. So, file that ITF. That way it gives you a little bit more time to go through everything, get your claim all lined up and in order, and then you can submit that 0995 or higher level review when you're ready. All right, next up, mistake number 4, not understanding the appeal options, not knowing which lane to use. This one is huge. So essentially, there are 3 main options when you appeal. You can either file a higher level review, a supplemental claim, or for a board appeal. Now let me break these down just a step further. If you want a higher level review or an HLR, that's a VA Form 21-0996. This is like saying, hey, VA, can someone smarter look at my file? Now, the downside of this is no new evidence can be considered, allowed as part of the process. Option number 2 is the supplemental claim. That's the one you're most familiar with. Here's where you bring in your new and relevant evidence to strengthen your case. But with this one, the downside, it's kind of a crapshoot. You might get a less smart or a rater who's not as bright. Okay, there may be issues. Who knows? Option number 3 is a board appeal. Now, this is the big leagues. It takes longer, but gives you the most options, including a hearing before a veterans law judge. The board appeal process can take a couple of years, but the options to those judges, they have a broad discretionary use of power and can even approve things that under the normal VA rules and regulations, they cannot. Okay, but keep in mind, it can take a couple years to get before a judge. Now, here's the mistake that most people make. People pick the wrong lane. They file a higher level review when what they really want or need is a supplemental claim, which results in then another denial. So, here's a quick tip. If you have new medical records, buddy statements, or a new nexus letter, then that's a supplemental claim every time. Let me break this down a step further just so you can see the visual on it, okay? Here's a pro tip for you. Higher level review. You get a smart rater, but no new evidence. With the supplemental claim, there's new evidence. You can submit a nexus, statements, etc. Okay? Now, here's the pro tip here. Here's the best of both worlds for you. You can file a supplemental claim and also request a personal hearing at that time. Why is this a smarter option or a pro tip here? Is because most of the time, the raters that are doing those hearings are smarter raters, But also you can submit new evidence, have a conversation with the person, describe all your symptoms, feelings, talk about everything that you think potentially was missed on your prior claim. That's why you're submitting the appeal. But you can have a real world conversation back and forth with the VA person. Okay. So I think that's the pro tip. I think that's the one that gives you the best of all options, somewhat combined. That also doesn't take 2 years to do. Mistake number 3, submitting weak or irrelevant evidence. Look, sitting in a pile of paperwork and thinking the VA will figure it out. Spoiler alert, they won't. More isn't better. Better is better. Don't resend the same stuff that got you denied. You need new and relevant evidence. That means a nexus letter from a doctor connecting your condition to service. It means updated medical exams showing your condition has worsened. It means buddy statements that fill in the missing details. Ask yourself something. When you review why you were denied for one of 3 reasons. Either there was nothing in service, there was no diagnosis, or no nexus. And the evidence that you submit has to overcome why you were denied. Now, the thing you need to ask yourself is this. Is the new and relevant evidence you're submitting, does it prove that service connection is warranted? Does it prove that a higher rating is warranted? If not, then it's just noise. Here's a pro tip. Quality beats quantity every single time. Thing to remember from this here, new plus relevant equals strong evidence. Okay? Go through your previous denial, find out why you were denied. And then the new evidence you submit, make sure it includes that evidence. All right, mistake number 2, not getting a medical nexus opinion. Okay, not getting one or skipping the medical nexus opinion, that one's a silent killer of VA claims. The VA cannot grant service connection without that link between your condition and your service. A strong nexus letter from a licensed doctor can flip a denial into an approval overnight. And the magic words that they should include is it is at least as likely as not that the veteran's condition was caused by military service or caused by this condition in service. Those words have won more claims than anything else I've ever seen. So if you don't have a nexus letter yet, stop scrolling TikTok and go get one written. Now, the thing to keep in mind here, I'm going to go through this here. The nexus equals the connection equals the win. That's what you want to remember here. Now, in talking about nexus letters, as you know, I'm not a strong advocate to go out and pay for a nexus letter from a private provider who has never seen you and hasn't treated you before, okay? I don't think that always wins. Now, I've said before, go to your VA doctor, go to your private healthcare provider, and see if they will write you a nexus statement. Some will, many won't. Now, before you get discouraged, if they won't write you a statement and you're not going to pay for one, okay, what I would suggest is this. Look at the conditions of your service. So, for example, if you were previously denied for, let's say, migraines, and you can take this with just about any condition. If you're previously denied for migraines as there was no nexus, then what I would do is this. Based on your MOS, your military occupational specialty, look up to see if there are any scholarly articles that indicate, and you can just go to your favorite web browser and search this. Put in your MOS and migraines and see what populates. Another thing you could do as well is ask your favorite web search browser there. Go Google it. Say, hey, what conditions are, or what medical conditions or disabilities are related to my MOS of, and then put in whatever your MOS is. And then if you have any of those conditions, then I would suggest filing a claim for those conditions and submit that scholarly article. You have to submit the article or else it doesn't work. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you were previously denied for no nexus and you show or hint that there could be a possible nexus based on your MOS and that was not previously considered, then The VA, as part of the appeal process, has to get an exam or an opinion and ask the examiner that. Okay? I've seen more wins from that in the last 6 months to a year than I have previously before. And if you were denied as having nothing in service, then I would absolutely submit that as the new and relevant evidence to win your claim. And the number one mistake veterans make when appealing a denied claim is giving up. Listen, the VA system is built to wear you down. It's slow, it's confusing, and sometimes it feels personal, but it's not. Most veterans who eventually win started with a denial. Heck, some of them even got denied twice or 3 times. The key is persistence and strategy. Each denial tells you exactly what the VA thinks is missing. And that's not failure. That's feedback. So use it. Adjust your evidence, tighten your story, and hit them again. Because the only sure way that you lose is to quit. We're not going to do that though, right? One thing that I want you to remember out of this is denial does not equal defeat. Use that feedback, submit that evidence, and let's get your claims approved. All right, here's a new segment, claim advice. Okay, I had one of my viewers, post a question on one of my videos and asking for a video. Hey, could you do a video about this topic? And if I don't think I can get one done, or if nothing's coming to mind, then I may just throw it in this claim advice section. So the question is, could you do a video for those that are rated at 100% per minute total and still putting in claims, aka poking the bear? Should you or should you not, from your perspective? So first and foremost, I'm not going to tell someone to not put in a claim or to put in a claim. That's your business. To each their own is what I think. Now, I say that with the caveat of be smart. Okay, depending on where you're at, whether you're just barely over that 100% mark or whether you're 20 points over it. Okay. The worst case scenario that could happen is if you're at 100% permanent total, you put in a claim and then they find a mistake or an error with the previous claim and then propose to sever or decrease the condition which has helped you to get to that 100% permanent total. You don't want to lose that period. That's the most important thing. Now, as for anything after that, the things that you'd be putting in for would be special monthly compensation, because those could continue to boost your conditions. If you have surgery on a condition that you're service connected for, like a knee or a back, then that would help you, get that special monthly compensation for a small period of time. In the end, it depends on the specifics of your file. Worst thing, you don't want to lose that 100% permanent total. So that being said, the answer varies. So take of that what you will. I know that's probably not great advice, but it really comes down to the specifics of your file. All right, wrapping it up here. You see the top 5 mistakes there when appealing a claim. Thing to remember is this: a denial doesn't mean it's over. It just means you're not done yet. Keep fighting smart. You've earned it. It's yours. It's within your reach. Okay? Do me a favor, though. If you watch this video and feel like I gave you enough information to where you can confidently file your next supplemental claim, and because of this video it's going to be at least 20% better, then you owe me a thumbs up. Okay? Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Did I miss anything? Any big mistakes? Drop me a comment or a question for something that you'd like me to address on claim advice. As always, please subscribe for no fluff VA claim tips, broken down with a little humor and some honesty. I'm Mr. X. Thanks for being with me. This is VA Top 5.